how it works for this time of day.
No. So Tuesday was Wayne County Court, Wednesday was Russell, now we got Thursday, and I haven't got to touch nothing. And then they called me to help today.
We're doing the jail dockets first. He's getting out. I can hear him rumbling.
Clinton County Jail docket.
Yes, sir. It work?
Commonwealth Attorney's Office back there.
Yeah, I'm on, Judge.
Okay, yeah. Commonwealth versus Eddie Bowman.
Bowman.
Could you step over there and get somebody in the clerk's office? Come over here.
Hey, look here. Now, we'll get ready to do court. Hey, don't just take your towards home right there. If you want to interview David, sorry.
Two people here on the first side of this. Oh, right. How are you? Good. Good. Thursday, you get a lot. Some days I'm great, some days I'm great. And where am I? Oh, we're on Vermont. Yeah. Okay, Commonwealth's case on the docket's Commonwealth versus Eddie Bowman. 19 CR 0041 and 22 CR 0050. We're here for today for the purpose of sentencing. Tom Carroll here. We'll have to pass over you right now. Your attorney, have you talked to your attorney lately?
I haven't talked to him since
Monday.
Monday.
So he went over this pre-sentence investigation report with you on Monday. Is that correct?
Yeah, I filled out a packet.
No, I said, did your attorney go over this pre-sentence investigation report with you?
No, you just filled it out.
No, I just filled it out.
Well, we'll get a hold of Mr. Carroll. Somebody in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, we all call Mr. Carroll and see if he's gone over this gentleman. If not, we'll have to put the sentencing off. Is he supposed to go to jail for a time period? Okay, you've got days to serve, so we'll just put your sentencing off. What is next week? October 13th. We'll put your sentencing off to October 13th. So your lawyer will have time to go over this with you, okay?
I'm pretty sure I've been over it because I filled it out and then probation stuff come down here and went over it too.
Okay, well, we'll do, he's not here. If he comes in a few minutes, we'll call you back up, but it won't harm you any because you got some days to serve. So you'll be there on October 13th anyway, okay? Thank you very much. Michael Burchett. Commonwealth versus Michael Burchett, 21 CR 0004. You're here for a sentencing. Have you had an opportunity to read the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation bureau? Are you Michael Burchett?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, were you born in 1984?
No, I'm not.
What year were you born?
1990.
1990.
Yes, Your Honor.
What are the last four digits of your social security number?
7380, Your Honor.
Both of these are wrong. Okay, it was just wrong on the docket. Have you, so you feel like you're fully informed about this pre-sentence investigation report then? Have you looked at it with your attorney? Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
hello, hello,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett. You answer me. Have you had an opportunity to go over this pre-sentence investigation report with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there any reason why this gentleman should not be sentenced?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. On a plea of guilty to trafficking in controlled substance, first degree, 2 counts, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 5 years on each count to run concurrently for a total of 5 years, serve 120 days in jail with a balance probated for 5 years supervised. He shall pay restitution in the amount of $959.28 at a monthly rate of $100 with the first payment within 45 days after being released from incarceration. Restitution shall be dispersed in accordance with the restitution order submitted with the police, subject to 5% clerk's fee. Shall receive credit for time served. What is the court cost in this case? $155. So I'm going to add $30 a month to your payment. So you'll actually be paying $135 a month until this is paid off. Okay, and then probation and parole will come. I don't know exactly how many days you've got to go. There's also a forfeiture order, a restitution order rather, that I'm signing here. The sheriff and the state police.
Your Honor, there's also a motion to forfeit $87 too, I think.
I'll sign
Was that money for, in the transaction, Jesse?
It was seized, yeah, at the time.
No objection to that.
Okay, thank you very much. Joseph Cope.
Yeah, we don't need no market right now.
Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Joseph Cope, 21 CR 00016. This is a diversion that there was a diversion voided on 8/11/2022, and this is here for sentencing today. Have you had an opportunity to look at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole? Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Okay. What's your year of birth
9/30/84,
and the last 4 digits of social security number?
7467.
Okay. Mr. Shepard, is there any reason why Mr. Cook should not be sentenced?
No, Your Honor, but I would like the court to consider probation. This is a case where his pretrial diversion was set aside, and quite frankly, he never really got started, due to his own error. And I would ask the court to consider giving him a second chance, considering that this would make this now a felony conviction, and he's done some time in jail. So there has been punishment for it, and I would like the court to consider giving him a chance to do supervised probation.
What's the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, he absconded while on diversion around the middle of April 2022. It's something, if he qualifies for drug court, I might look at shocking him out in the drug court if that's something he wants to do. But I'm opposed to probation.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do drug court.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and sentence you, Mr. Cope, to 3 years, and then as soon as you're eligible to be shock probated, if the Commonwealth is in agreement with that, I'll look favorably on taking a look at that and have a possibility. So I'll go ahead and sign the judgment sentencing you today, and your attorney will be in contact with you. Is that right, Mr. Shepard?
I'll be in contact, Mr. Cope, about drug court and
Okay.
probation.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very much. Yeah.
What's that say?
Michael Craig. Are you Michael Craig?
Yes, sir.
You born in 1985?
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits of social security number 0827.
Yes, sir.
You're here today for the purpose of sentencing, and have you had the opportunity to look at this probation and parole report? Okay, is it substantially correct?
Yeah.
Mr. Sheffield, is there any reason this gentleman should not be sentenced today?
No, Your Honor.
Upon a plea of guilty to promoting contraband first degree, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 1 year to serve. He shall receive credit for time served. And what's the court cost us? $155, and I'll let you pay that at $30 a month, starting 30 days after you release. Any contraband will be destroyed, okay?
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Matthew Denny. Matthew Denny.
Danny.
Wayne County, I see that you're on the line. We just have 6 more people here in Clinton County, and then we'll come right to you, okay?
Your Honor, Mr. Denning's Mr. Carroll's client, and we called his office and he was just leaving when we called. He's on his way.
Tom Carroll is,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay,
They said he didn't know about the time change,
okay.
so they sent him out the door when we called.
Okay, Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Matthew Denny, 22 CR 0049. Are you Matthew Denny?
Yes, sir.
You were born in 1986?
Yep.
What are the last 4 digits of your social security
I'll
number?
need,
It's 7916.
Do you have an attorney?
Yes,
Who is your attorney?
Tom Carroll.
He's not listed on here. Yeah. I thought it might have been.
it's an arraignment. He called me yesterday on the case.
Okay, we'll just come back to you. Mr. Carroll's on the way over here.
Thank you.
Jason Irwin. Jason Irwin. Commonwealth versus Jason Irwin. Are you Jason Irwin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were born in 1972.
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits, social security number 5553.
Yes, sir.
Here today for the purpose of arraignment, you have the right to remain silent. Your attorney, Mr. Cross, you see him there on camera. The grand jury of Clinton County has returned an indictment charging you with wanton endangerment in the 1st degree, assault in the 4th degree, and terroristic threatening in the 3rd degree. Mr. Bailiff, will you take that back and hand it to Mr. Cross? Mr. Cross.
I have a copy of it, Your Honor. I'm good.
Well, he's gonna bring it back to you anyway. I have 2 copies. Did you acknowledge you received the indictment, waive formal reading arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's negotiation day?
October the 6th at 9 o'clock.
Okay, you'd be here at the Justice Center October the 6th. Is that where you do it here, Mr. Stockton? Are you?
Yes, Your Honor, here in the courthouse.
Okay, October 6th at 9 a.m. and your next court appearance is October 13th. Now, there was some issue about bond in this case.
Yes, Your Honor. The court indicated the court needed more information about this case. I'm prepared to give you a narrative of what happened at the preliminary hearing. The evidence.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Go ahead.
The evidence at the preliminary hearing was that this incident, according to Angela Holt's testimony, occurred on June 9th of 2022, when the defendant allegedly pointed a gun at her. These people had been companions for years. However, the most interesting thing and what adds the hokiness to the complaint is that it was not signed until July 5th, and these people were together until then. So I wasn't there on June 9th. I noticed the
Okay, let's go. Did the state police investigate this or who?
No.
Who investigated, Mr. Stockton?
I don't know that anybody did, Your Honor. I don't know. I'd have to talk to the victim if she contacted anybody, but this arrangement made it from EPO and a direct submission to the grand jury with the victim testifying.
That's correct, Your Honor. There's no law enforcement involvement. Mr. Irwin's got a good record. And I would add that he told me something Tuesday I did not know, that he's supposed to have gone to work this week after he got his court processed for Woody's Restorations in Russell County. He lives near the Russell County line. So
Have you talked to the victim, Mr. Stockton?
It's probably been a week or two ago when I spoke to her. The last time I talked to her, she sent me a letter about the key fob. I think my detective talked to her.
she's worried about the dog too, Mr. Stockton. I think that's,
Yeah.
there's an issue about who owns the dog.
I try to stay out of any divorce issues, but.
Well, it's not a divorce. It's just,
I
Well,
know,
wait
Randy,
just a second,
property
wait just
settlement.
a second. I will, the bond, I believe, Mr. Cross, you told me, and Mr. Stockton, the bond was originally 5,000 cash and 2,500 of it's been drawn down, 2,500 of it's still up. Is that right?
that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I will keep the bond in the same amount, but I'm gonna do a curfew. Mr. Irwin is to be at his residence, and he'll need to give us an address, his residence, except when he is at work, church, or the doctor. And he'll also have to abide by the EPO terms, which I'm going to include in his bond also in case the EPO gets taken care of. I think it's 500 feet away from her and no contact whatsoever with the accused. He shall also not have any firearms at his residence or in his vehicle or any vehicle that he's in, and he will waive his Fourth Amendment rights against search to allow any law enforcement officer that feels it necessary to come search his home or his car. Okay?
Your Honor, that's all good. Could we add coming to see his lawyer to the exception? Because he lives down on AG Ridge and it's a little unhandy for me to see him unless he comes in.
Well, you can talk to him on the phone. I don't, no reason him coming into town. You know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here's the
fine.
thing,
Appreciate the bond being lowered.
here's the thing about it, is if you want him to come in, you need to call the pretrial office, Mr. Cross, and tell him that he's gonna come in, he can come straight to your office and back home so they'll know where he is, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Gary Latimer. He's to be, Mr. Irwin's to be here the 6th and the 13th. 2,500 cash, it's already posted up. Gary Latimer. Are you Gary Latimer? Are you Gary Latimer?
I am.
Okay. This is 21 CR 0091. Mr. Latimer, is your year of birth 1969?
It is.
Last four digits, social security number 7653.
That's correct.
Okay, we're here for a pretrial conference. What do you have, Mr. Shepherd?
Judge, it may be beneficial to go ahead and set a trial date. Jesse and I have talked about a couple different ways to resolve it, and I'm not giving up on possibly an out-of-state family member that
Could you step back there and see if my iPad is back there?
might be willing to have him come live on her property, but I don't have that confirmed yet.
Yeah, there was here.
It's not back there. Yeah, the gallery. What is the charge, Mr. Stockton?
It's assault third on the jailers down there and officers. It should be, I could probably do a pretty quick trial date if you want to. Mr. Latimer's been in jail some time, so we can get this one off the books if you want to.
Okay. That's okay. I'll get it. What is September? You see that.
Mr. Stockton, I'm assuming there's no video, in this.
We'll double check, but we'll give you everything we've got.
Well, unless I've misplaced something, all I've got is a grand jury disc.
Look and see what we've got, Amber.
October the 5th.
That's fine with me, Your Honor.
That's fine.
See you October 5th. Walter Miller is next.
Miller, hey, Kenny, show me some Reese cups too.
Yeah, just check on that. If there is, make sure.
Commonwealth versus Walter Miller, 21 CR 0009. Are you Walter Miller?
Yes, sir.
Born in 1984, Mr. Miller.
Yes, sir.
And the last four digits, social security number 7915.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're here today on the pre-trial conference. What do you have, Mr. Stockton?
Have a felony plea, Your Honor.
Is that correct? Mr. Shepard?
Yeah, we've got the paperwork. I've got it back here with me.
Okay,
Signed.
motion has been tendered, Mr. Miller, that says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
You what?
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person named in indictment number 21 CR 0009?
Yes, sir.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No.
Have you had plenty of time to discuss this matter with your attorney, so you're fully informed?
Yes.
Have you reviewed all the evidence the Commonwealth has against you and you understand that evidence?
Yes.
You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speedy trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, and the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of the charges against you. You understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those rights. I may
Yes.
consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I'll await a pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you will have the right to withdraw your plea, go to jury trial. You understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Commonwealth Attorney, what is your offer?
Your Honor, Mr. Miller will plead guilty to fleeing and evading the police, first degree, receive a sentence of 5 years. He'll plead guilty to DUI, first offense, aggravating circumstances, receive a sentence of 7 days in jail, pay a $250 fine. Those sentences shall run concurrently for a total of 5 years to serve. The Commonwealth opposes probation. Defendant shall receive credit for time served and pay court costs at discretion of the court. All drug paraphernalia will be destroyed.
Mr. Miller, is that what you understand the offer to be?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment or as amended?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you doing this your own free will?
Yes.
You know your constitutional rights I've explained, is it still your desire to give up those rights, enter a guilty plea and allow the law to fix your punishment within the range of the law? You understand that by entering this guilty plea, any future convictions of felony could be enhanced under the persistent offender law and you could receive more time. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Shelby, could you hold that signature up to your camera there? Is that your signature on there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll agree to accept the agreement and we'll order a pre-sentence investigation report. You'll be sentenced on October the 13th, okay? Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you.
Ricky Phillips. Mr. Coleman Hurd, is he here? Okay, we'll have to come back to you, Mr. Phillips, when Mr. Coleman Hurd is.
Do we have, Judge, I also have him on a case. He's got two cases. Coleman has one, I have one. Do we have the signed paperwork? I think Coleman was gonna go see him at the jail. Do we have that, Kenny?
Coleman
Amber
came
said he
down
may
late.
be in the hall.
Coleman came down late yesterday afternoon, but I don't have the paperwork.
So Coleman probably has it then.
I assume.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's come back to him then and get Larry Weiss. Larry Weiss. Are you Larry Weiss?
Yes.
Okay, stand up there, Mr. Weiss, a little bit, so we can, there you go. This is 20 CR 0072. You born in 1978, sir?
Yes,
Last four digits, social security number 3624.
yes,
Now, you filed an affidavit saying that you want appointed counsel, and I have reviewed it. And I believe I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Advocacy to represent you. Mr. Shuffett, wave your hand there so we can see you. This is here for arraignment. You have Roger remained silent. The grand jury of Clinton County has returned an indictment, sir, charging you with theft of mail, theft of identity, and theft by lawful taking a disposition. You understand what those charges are. I don't want you to comment on the charges, but you understand what the charges are.
yes,
Yeah, okay. Well, counsel, you acknowledge the receipt of indictments is being handed to you by the bailiff there. The identity of your client, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a negotiation day on October 6th, and the next court appearance is on October 13th. What is the bond situation of this gentleman? Do what? So he's got a district court bond that's up, so I have a $15,000 surety, which I believe is low enough bond, he'll have to take care of. Is the district court on a different charge?
Yeah,
What-
Judge, he's
what-
been in NCIC twice because he was released
Okay,
during COVID.
Okay,
We had to put him back
okay,
in.
well, I want to, if you want a bond change, you have to set a bond motion then, okay? Okay,
Judge, what's his current bond in this case?
well, it's 15,000, but I've just been told that he had to get him an NCIC, so I'm gonna make it 10,000 cash.
Well, that's not correct. I mean, he came back and he came back and was unable to log onto a this Zoom meeting. It was back in the summer of 21 when we were doing Zoom court. And, you know, they didn't have to bring him back. He was here, and it just never got rescheduled after that.
Mr. Stockton?
Yeah, we had him in NCIC and he was picked up, then he got released because of COVID. I don't know why he didn't appear. And then we had, I don't know if we had to put him back in or not, or we got the warrant served. I think we may have got it served, but we've had to have him served twice and NCIC once.
Well, he was extradited. He was extradited to North Carolina. His bond was lowered at some point, either in this case or in district court, and he was extradited to North Carolina. On June 8th of 21, I sent an email to Megan saying that I'd spoke to Larry and he's in receipt of instructions how to participate on June 10th of 21, but unable to do so. And then I asked for a later date. I don't know. And I actually copied Jesse on that as well. So, I mean, I understand if the court's I understand the court has concern about a new charge, but Larry, he didn't abscond or anything.
Well, Mr., you have some conversation with Mr. Stockton and how the $5,000 cash bond is on a different charge. Is that correct? You have to take your mask off and look at me. New offense. So I'm going to say, while he was out on bond, I can't hear your name. Yeah. So it looks like he's got a new charge while he was out on bond. What do you say about that?
Well, Judge, I don't dispute that part of it.
Okay, then I'm holding without bond.
Mr. Rain on
Without
that
bond
this
for
week.
violating the terms of the previous bond. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And he'll be here on the 6th and the 13th. Mr. Coleman Hurt is here, so we can go back to Ricky Phillips.
Come over here. I'll just stand behind you or something.
Ricky Phillips. Ricky Phillips. And then Wayne County, we're on our way to you after this. Commonwealth versus Ricky Phillips, 20 CR 0019 here for a pretrial conference. You're represented by Coleman Hurt. You see him there. What do you have, Mr. Hurt, in this case?
Judge, we have a resolution. I have a motion to enter a guilty plea that I can tender today, resolving all of his pending charges.
Okay, Mr. Phillips, were you born in 1985?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits of social security number are 3824.
Yes, sir.
A motion has been tendered that says that you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is your plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person named in indictment number 20 CR 00019?
Yes, sir.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No, sir.
Have you discussed these charges with your attorney? And are you satisfied with the advice of your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that you are fully informed about the case?
Yes, sir.
You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept the plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speed trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor and have process issued to compel their attendance. The right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, and the right to file a Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of the charges against you. You understand that by any guilty plea that you give up all those rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided law. I do not have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting any recommendation, I will await the pre-sentence investigation report from probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea and proceed to trial. Mr. Stockton, what is the recommendation?
Your Honor, on a plea in 22 CR 33 to burglary second degree, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 7 years. On a plea in 20 CR 19 to receiving stolen property, obscuring the identity of a machine and other property, he'll receive a sentence of 7 years on each count to run concurrently for a total of 7 years. In the 7-year sentence, both those will run concurrently. They'll be probated for 5 years, supervised. He shall enter and complete the Clinton Specialty Court Program. He's been assessed and qualifies for that program. He'll pay restitution in indictment 22 CR 33 of $381.60, payable to the clerk's office at the monthly rate of $75 a month, beginning 45 days after being released. Restitution subject to a 5% fee. He'll have no contact with the victim, victim's family, property. He's already served 162 days in jail. He'll remain incarcerated until final sentencing or drug court orientation, whichever comes last. He shall receive credit for time served, pay court costs at the discretion of the court, obtain gainful and maintain gainful employment, and any evidence he would forfeit any interest in that in this case.
Is that what you agreed to, Mr. Phillips?
Yes, sir.
Now, one of those indictments is a 2020 indictment, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So it's just been hanging around for that long, or?
I believe Mr. Shuffett has him
Okay, I
on
got
one of
you.
those and I have him on the other, and there was a conflict, and so we.
Yeah, I
both of
understand.
them.
I think Ms. Stanziano was involved in it.
Yes, that's correct, Judge.
Okay,
There's one additional condition, Your Honor, and it wasn't placed in the plea papers. He would agree to cooperate and testify truthfully in any cases involving Michael Keith here in Clinton County.
is that correct, Mr. Hurt?
Yes, he's already done that. He's aware of that. That's not an
He's
issue.
given a statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that'll be a condition. Also, well, I will accept the plea agreement as modified. Order a pre-sentence investigation report to be done by probation and parole. We'll set the sentencing on October the 13th. And I would suggest that a supplemental statement to that effect be attached to the plea and presented to the court on that day with his signature on it. Okay? Okay, thank you very much. Now, bring him back just a second there. Bring him back just a second. You understand that any future convictions that you have of any felonies could be enhanced as far as the range of penalty because of these pleas. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, if you got the document with you, Mr. Hurt,
I do, Judge.
will you hold it up and show him his signature? Okay, is that your signature, sir?
Sir.
Is that your signature on the camera there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll see you then on October 13th for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Now, I don't think Mr. Carroll is here yet, so I'm gonna go to Wayne County. Will you turn your camera on Wayne County, and I'll call Benjamin Clable. Are you Benjamin Clable?
Yeah.
Mr. Clable, were you born in 1986?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last four digits of your social security number, 2415.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we have, see your affidavit here. We don't have any information for us, financial information on public defender. It doesn't have any information on it. You want me to appoint you a public defender, is that correct?
Yeah, it says they don't have it.
Oh, I see it. There you go. I've looked at your affidavit. I'm going to appoint Mr. Shuffett to represent you in the Office of Public Defender.
Judge, I'd enter a not guilty plea and waive any.
Wait just a second. Wait just a second. Where's that? You have a right to remain silent here, Mr. Clable. Grand jury of Clinton County has returned an indictment charging you with murder by use of a motor vehicle, operating a motor vehicle under the influence. Operating a motor vehicle while license is revoked or suspended. Trafficking and controlled substance. Persistent felony offender, 4 counts on the 4 previously read charges. I'm gonna send this indictment back to you, Mr. Shuffett. You acknowledge the receipt of indictment, waive formal reading arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty. We're reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Stockton, when I would assume there'll be a large amount of discovery. in this? Do you think that you can have?
He can go home.
There will be. I just asked
Pardon?
for a pretrial in November or December, whichever Brad wants. He's a state prisoner and will be for quite a while, so.
Okay. It's November 3rd, is that right? So we'll schedule the next court appearance for November 3rd. And if you want to do a pretrial, because of the serious nature of the crimes, I will let y'all work that out between the two of us as far as any negotiation date, okay? So the next court date is November 3rd. Okay, thank you, Mr. Playable. Shannon Mercer. Shannon Mercer. Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Shannon Mercer, 20 CR 0034. Are you Shannon Mercer?
Y'all will get Christie.
Yes, sir.
Your attorney, Mr. Cross, is there, Mr. Mercer. We're here for a probation and revocation. Were you born in 1975, Mr. Mercer?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 5655.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you have, Mr. Stockton?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth is asking that Mr. Mercer has a 5-year sentence on a DUI fourth offense. He had some violations and ultimately he was to go to rehab, but he wasn't admitted. And I've got Miss Clooney here to testify if necessary.
And we have, Your Honor, we have Mr. Mercer and his mother here to testify. They were also present. It's kind of an odd fact situation, but I think we have to have a hearing.
Okay. You want to call your first witness, Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
Will you turn that camera, the screen over that way a little bit so that people start just a little bit. That's good right there. That's good right there. Okay, will you raise your right hand, please? You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Judge.
State your name with whom you're employed.
Christy Clooney, I'm with the Department of Corrections, Probation and Parole Division.
Mr. Stockton, you may proceed.
Mr. Stockton, have her speak up just a little. It's a little, she has a faint voice.
Okay. I want to go back to March 14th of 2022 on this, Miss Clooney. Did Mr. Mercer test positive for any kind of controlled substance?
Yes, he tested positive for meth.
Methamphetamine?
Yes,
And as a result of that, okay, was that sent to the lab?
it was sent to the lab.
And did it come back diluted?
Yes,
Okay, now, he was scheduled with the SSC again, is that correct?
yes,
Okay, and then on May the 6th, did he report as directed?
he failed to report.
Okay. Did he ultimately report to you or somebody else at probation and parole on May the 10th?
He did report on that day, yes.
And can you tell the court what happened on May the 10th?
On May 10th, he reported to the Monticello office. He was asked to report there due to failing to report on his regular report day. Upon arrival, he told us that he had been in the hospital and had bugs crawling on him and causing sores. The assistant district supervisor, Chris Martin, reviewed his paperwork that was brought from the hospital. He was admitted there for dermatitis and eczema. Mercer did have visible sores all over his body. He also was using a cane and appeared to barely be able to walk. He stated he was hurting. He provided a sample for drug testing that was on-site positive for methamphetamines and methadone, and he denied use.
Okay, was that sample sent to the lab?
It was.
And what did it come back as?
It was confirmed positive for methamphetamines and confirmed to be diluted.
So this was the second positive test for methamphetamines and the second confirmed dilute.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. And at that point in time, probation and parole requested revocation. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay. And then there was an order entered in lieu of revocation where Mr. Mercer was to go to rehab. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, what happened when he went to rehab? 17.
On June 17th, we received a report from Jacob's House in Lexington that that Mercer had arrived there, but they saw him snort a substance off of, it says a glove box or dash.
Okay.
He denied that and to them, and then they discharged him.
So they, based on their observations, they wouldn't admit him into rehab. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Cross?
Ms. Clooney, was the report from the drug rehab in writing, or was it simply a telephone or
It was sent in an email.
sent in an email? And could you read that into the record, what they said?
It says, we saw Mr. Mercer go out to his mom's truck and snort something off what looked like glove box door. He denied doing this. We have discharged Mr. Mercer and are restricting him for 2 years.
That's all I have.
No redirect, Your Honor.
Do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Cross, you wish to call a witness?
We'd call Mr. Mercer first, please.
Mr. Murphy, raise your right hand, please. Swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mercer, tell this court what happened when you went to the drug rehab back in June of this year.
It was kind of routine. I mean, they were pretty bossy and rude. They bossed my mother around, wouldn't let her
I
leave.
just want to know what happened. I don't need to know about their attitude, okay?
Well, got there, done all the paperwork, the drug test, this, that, and the other.
Keep your voice up, Shannon. I'm having trouble hearing you, okay?
Got there, went through the procedures of getting, doing all the paperwork, everything like that. There was a gentleman in front of me, getting his property or what have you, searched for admittance, and I stepped out to the vehicle. My mother was in the truck, was standing by the door. It was starting to rain, was eating a sausage biscuit and smoking a cigarette, and they hollered at us, hollered at me to come in, and then ran out and flagged her back down and said they had seen me snorting something out of the glove box of the vehicle, which I did not.
Okay. Now, your mother's here to testify today, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you heard Ms. Clooney testify about your health issues and being on a cane. What's going on with you regarding your medical condition, Shannon?
Well, you've got a lot of paperwork from Dr. Tibbs at UK Neuroscience. I was scheduled 2 Tuesdays ago for an appointment with Tibbs to go ahead and set up pre-op and things of that nature. From the MRI reports on my neck is bad enough. I was supposed to be doing physical therapy over 3 weeks ago now to get an MRI done on my lower, which will be the 3rd surgery I've had. And I'm barely able to get around. I'm still using a cane in here. Barely can get up and down out of the rack. I'm staying here trying to hold myself up right now as we speak.
Now, Shannon, you heard the officer testify. You did have a couple of positive tests. Had you used methamphetamine on occasion prior to going to the rehab?
I had, but it was, as you're aware of, I lost my wife of 20-some years, and I isolated myself, withdrew into the house. It was presented to me by someone, and they just gave it to me, and I was in, like I said, I was pretty miserable in sorrow, and just I was lost really, and so yeah, I did.
Okay, that's all I have of Mr. Mercer.
Mr. Stockton?
No questions.
Okay, you want to call his mother? You said?
Yeah, do I need to come out front and examine her?
Well, we can bring her back where you are if you want to.
Oh, wait, just send her back, okay, if you can.
Can we pick her up here on this?
Take your mask off, Murray. Have a seat.
You raise your right hand, please. Swear testimony you have to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes,
Okay,
State your name, please. You can lower your hand.
okay. My
State your name, please.
Janice Marie Mercer,
And Marie, you're Shannon's mother, correct?
yes.
Okay. Tell the court
Go back
what
there.
happened.
Shut the door,
Who
Mr.
took
Cross.
Shannon to rehab and what happened up there.
I took him to rehab. I drove him myself. We got up there. We went in and they set me on a stool in the middle of the floor. And they took him in the office and done what they was gonna do. And then I thought we were through, so I went outside, well, to get in the vehicle to leave. Well, there was a guy come out on the porch where we sat, and one of the men from inside and called me back in there. And he was in there for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And he come back out. And he said, flagging me back down because I done started to leave. And they called me back up to park. So I parked. And he said, Mom, they're saying I done something while I was sitting in the truck. I said, they ain't nothing for you to do. So he opened the glove box. He got a biscuit and sausage out. Started eating it. He hadn't eaten nothing that morning. So then he was putting his telephone, his headphone sets and stuff back in the glove box that he couldn't take back in with him. So that was while he was out smoking. And then they told us to leave. So I had to leave, but he didn't do nothing. There wasn't nothing for him to do in the glove box.
Okay. That's all I have, Marie. Mr. Stockton may have some questions for you.
I don't have any questions. I don't have any questions, John.
No questions. You have anybody
Okay,
else?
thank you.
Mr. Cross, you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, I don't have any additional witnesses.
Okay. Mr. Stockton, what do you have to say?
Your Honor, this is a case where Mr. Mercer has no credibility for the court. He had, while on probation, he used methamphetamine on at least 2 occasions. He attempted to cover up his use of methamphetamine by diluting those samples. However, he botched that job, so it showed up both meth and diluted. The court gave him an opportunity instead of revoking him and sent him to rehab, but he's the only person I know of that didn't get admitted into rehab. Usually they leave after they get there, so he has that distinction. I remember this Miss Mercer, she's a kind lady, but it remembers me at my mother's funeral. One of my cousins told me, said, your mother would take up for you if you set the world on fire. And I think that's Miss Mercer's case in this thing. And I don't think Mr. Mercer has any credibility. So I'd ask that he go ahead and let the court enter a revocation in this matter.
Mr. Cross?
Your Honor, I'm represented Mr. Mercer in various matters and in his disability claim over the years. He did have the very sudden loss of his wife or significant other that they'd been together over 20 years. I know that was very hard on him. He's acknowledged his use today to the court. This rehab thing is most peculiar, and it's interesting that they allegedly saw something. By they, I mean the rehab facility, but we have Mr. Mercer and his mother who say that did not occur. I think the appropriate thing to do, based on we've heard live testimony from 2 witnesses, is to let him go back into a rehab. He's got real serious health problems and health issues. I know he's going to have a lot of back surgeries and stuff. Shannon seems very, very earnest in his desire to get out. And yeah, he talked to me. I'm not here to testify, but he called me when this came
That's okay,
down.
then don't testify then.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so what you've got here is Mr. Mercer has violated the terms of his probation by taking methamphetamine.
He has.
And diluting the sample. I noticed that he did not deny when you had him on the stand that he diluted it. So I'm going to revoke his probation. I cannot allow people to dilute their tests and try to run around the court and then expect the court to give them a break on the thing. Okay, thank you very much. Let's
Thank
call Jonathan Ray. Jonathan Ray. Commonwealth versus Jonathan Ray, 22 CR 0045, 22 CR 0048, and then we have, those are for arraignment. And then 21 CR 0083 for probation revocation. 21 CR 00105 for probation revocation. I've looked at your affidavit. It appears that you are
No.
public defender.
I've got one coming
I'm going
out.
to sign the order on that. I'm going to do the first of the arraignments. Give me your date of birth, Mr. Ray.
9586
Okay, and the last four digits of your social security number.
4463.
Okay, the grand jury of Clinton County has returned an indictment charging you with operating a motor vehicle while license revoked or suspended, evading police, reckless driving, disregarding a stop sign, and criminal littering. You understand those charges? You understand what they are?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And also in 22 CR 0048, the grand jury has charged you with being a persistent felony offender. Almost fleeing or evading. You want to combine these two cases, the PFO cases on one of the other charges.
Yes, Your Honor, they need to be consolidated.
Okay, let's consolidate those two cases and submit an order to do that. Counsel, you've heard the identity of your client. You acknowledge your receipt of the indictment, enter a plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
We will set a conference date on October 6th and the next pretrial on October 13th. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and we'll do the revocations on the same day.
Yeah, we'll try to do a global settlement
See
if
if we
possible.
do a global thing. Okay, thank you very much. We have anything else at Wayne County? Okay, well, thank you all very much.
Your Honor, question. Brittany Ray was on in Wayne County, then she's been taken off. It's a revocation. Is that still on the docket, or do we know?
It's removed next month.
It was removed till next month.
Move to next month. I said.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Wayne County. Now let's, Clinton County's still on here, and then Mr. Carroll is here now, so let's bring Eddie Bowman back up for sentencing.
Good
Mr.
morning,
Bowman,
everyone.
your attorney, Mr. Carroll is here now. Wait, Mr. Carroll there. No, these two separate. Yes. Okay, Mr. Carroll, we previously identified Mr. Bowman before we realized that you weren't here. Hey, do you have an opportunity to go over pre-sentence investigation reports with Mr. Bowman?
I have not, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll put his sentencing off until October the 13th. Okay,
That's fine, Judge.
okay. And now, thank you, Mr. Bowman. And now we'll go to Matthew Denny for arraignment. Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Matthew Denny, which is 22 CR 0049. Mr. Denny, were you born in 1986?
Yes, sir.
What's the last four digits of your social security number?
716.
Okay, y'all need to be quiet, please. 7916, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're here today for the purpose of arraignment. The grand jury of Clinton County has returned indictment charging you with burglary in the third degree and theft of unlawful taking. Do you understand those charges? You understand what the charges are? I'm not asking you anything about the charges. You understand what the charges are? Yes or no? Okay,
Yeah.
let me, okay. Okay, Mr. Carroll, you heard.
Yes, Your Honor.
You heard Mr. Denny acknowledge his identity. Do you acknowledge his identity? The indictments have just been handed to you. Waive formal reading and arraignment.
I do, Your Honor, would
Enter a plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, now, we have a October 6th negotiation date at 9 a.m. and October 13th pretrial date. Now, what's
That'll be
the
fine, Your
situation?
Honor.
What's the situation on this gentleman's bond?
Judge, he's currently, I think, on a $10,000 cash or property. Jesse and I have had some discussion. This young man, these charges are a couple of years old. He served some time in jail, been on probation about 9 months on some semi-related charges.
Okay, what I'd like for y'all to do then is y'all talk to each other. Mr. Stockton, what's your position on the bond?
Mr. Carroll mentioned the surety bond with his mother. I have no objection to that as long as he wears an ankle monitor till we see if we can resolve these cases.
Mr. Carroll?
That's fine, Judge. Jesse, what's the conditions on the ankle monitor?
Do what?
He wanted to know the conditions on the ankle monitor. Of course, it'd be your standard conditions, work, church.
Yeah, he's under a curfew. He goes to church, work, or the doctor. He can come to your office if you call him and make a specific arrangement. Okay, he has an ankle monitor and he stays at the home that's listed with the company. And I'll let his mother sign a $15,000 surety.
All right. I have a order that I'll get with Jesse and we'll modify a little bit. I brought something with me and I'll get out and do that right now. And
okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, let's go to Russell County. Russell County. Russell County, are you online? Are you jail number 2 up there? Russell County. Yeah, there
Can you hear
are.
us, Your Honor?
Yeah, now we can. Let's call Mark Brown.
All right, sir, the only Mark Brown we have has Casey County charge. He said he has nothing out of,
Yeah, this Mark Brown's not incarcerated, Your Honor. There's a mistake. He's out of custody. This is an old case where I moved to forfeit guns.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and sign the forfeiture order.
I want to sign the order, give him to his son. He's a deputy jailer down there.
That'll be fine. Larissa Poor.
All righty, Larissa, right here. Here she is, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Commonwealth versus Larissa Poor, 21 CR 00131. Are you Larissa Poor?
Yes, I am.
You're here today for sentencing. Have you had an opportunity to look at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation parole?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Counselor, is any reason why this lady should not be sentenced?
No, Your Honor.
The grand jury of Clinton County indicted you and the defendant entered a plea to complicity, trafficking controlled substance first degree. You shall receive a sentence of 5 years, so 120 days in jail with a balanced probate for 5 years supervised. You shall pay restitution amount of $759.28. Do $100 per month with court costs in the amount of $155. I'll add $30 a month on for the court costs. So in 45 days, you'll start paying $135 $130 a month until it's paid in full. Now, have you served your 120 days yet?
She's about, I think she likes about 30 days, Judge.
Okay, well, when you do that, your probation parole will be over to see you. You meet with them and get straightened out, okay?
Okay,
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Yeah. Timothy Stapp. Timothy Stapp.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Timothy Stapp. 18 CR 0096. Are you Timothy Stapp?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in 1988?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the last four digits, social security number 8048.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here today for a shock probation hearing. Did you file this on his behalf, Counselor?
Yes, Judge.
You want to present it?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Stapp was revoked by this court back in May. At that time, there was some discussion of not revoking him, but the court went ahead and did revoke him. And I waited until after we heard from the parole board before filing a shock motion. The parole board flopped him to 2023, which is more or less a serve out, I believe. They flopped him to July 23, 3-year sentence. That'd probably amount to pretty much a serve out. He has been participating in an MRT program while he's been over at Russell County, as well as working on the work crew. He's open to any and all substance abuse treatment as recommended by probation and parole.
Mr. Stockton, what do you have to say about this?
Your Honor, I went back and reviewed Mr. Stapp's file. He had 4 positive methamphetamine tests. He had problems reporting in January of 2002. So he finally reported. He was allowed by the court to go to the Hope Center to rehab. He went on or about January the 19th of 22 and left February the 1st. So he absconded. I had to get him NCIC, get him picked up. So he wasn't extradited. He was found. But I'm going to oppose shock probation based on those facts, Your Honor.
Okay, you want to put a witness on, or?
Mr. Stapp, do you want to?
Yes, please.
Okay. Judge, if we could.
Raise your right hand. Swear testimony about to give us the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Your Honor,
No, I'm going to ask questions. You can answer them.
okay.
Please state your name.
My name's Timothy Stapp.
Okay. Should you be released by the court, what would your plans be?
Be truthfully honest, I just want to finish my college. I'm trying my best to find a good church because I've really got into my Bible since I've been here. I would really like to get on that Vivitrol shot and maybe the IOP program. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I realize that I messed up when I left rehab, and I'm paying for that now. I've 4 years of school and I let it go down the drain for nothing, and I'm trying to make amends for that now. I realize that I know I messed up, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes right now. And I know I can do it because I found the Lord, and I know that with him, anything's possible.
All right, answer anything that
Mr. Stockton?
Commonwealth may have for you.
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Stapp, what kind of 4 years of schooling have you had?
Well, I started out when we first started this, I was going to Full Sail University. And well, I realized
No, I don't want the story. I want you to tell me, you said you had 4 years of schooling. Tell me what 4 years.
I went through Full Sail University for 2 years, and I transferred to a different school, Post University. My wife's there. She can testify to that. She's sitting there in the courtroom. But I transferred to Post University for business because I got to realizing that.
No, wait, I didn't wait. I just wanted to ask you a simple question. So these are virtual schools?
They're online schools, yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
But
okay, Mr. Stockton, what's your position on this?
Your Honor, based on Mr. Stapp's history, I have no confidence he'll comply with probation. If you let him out, I hope he proves me wrong. But I'm opposed to shock probation.
I'll definitely prove you wrong this time, Jesse.
You have a job?
Yes, sir. My dad owns a garage up here and I've
Up
talked to
where,
him
up where? Up
in
where?
Russell Springs. And he said he could put me back to work the day I'm released.
Where would you live?
Well, for now, I'd be living at my mother-in-law's in Piney Woods. I mean, and I'm more than willing to go put applications in anywhere.
Yeah, well,
I'm just,
I don't know. It's a borderline situation here, Mr. Stapp.
just-
I would consider, I'm gonna take this under advisement. I want y'all to take a look at a long-term in-house rehabilitation that he cannot leave. Can you try to arrange that?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and then you get back with Commonwealth Attorney. I know the Commonwealth is
Your Honor, can I
objecting.
say one more thing, please, without interrupting you?
You're doing pretty well right now, but go ahead.
I'm sorry. I can't finish my school. They're about to kick me out of my school, Your Honor. I'll take the shot. I'll do the
No,
let
let me
shot.
tell you what about your school.
They're not gonna
They
let me.
won't, they will not kick you out of a virtual school as long as you got enough money to send it to them.
Yeah, that's something I really don't have, Your Honor. I'm going on
Well, I know
financial
you
aid.
don't, but now you either get revoked or you can go to a long-term drug rehab that you can't get out of. That's your two choices. If you want to go ahead and stay in, we can arrange that.
I mean, I'll go to the rehab, Your Honor.
Okay, if you'll, counsel, if you'll try to arrange that and get with the Commonwealth, and I don't want one of these centers where everybody's got more drugs there. I want a real rehab, okay?
Yeah, because that last rehab had a lot of drugs in it.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
why I
thank you very much, Mr. Stapp. Commonwealth versus Christopher Thrasher. Are you Christopher Thrasher?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, is Mr. Hoskins here? Well, Mr. Hoskins, if you want to go back there, the public advocacy allow you to get on camera back there. Y'all show him where to go back, Mr. Hoskins, where to go?
Oh, 21B. Shut that door.
We got somebody that's not here. Okay. 186. 62. 303. 116. 314. Okay, we're here on Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Christopher Thrasher for a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say in this case?
Judge, I think we're on today to reset the trial date.
Okay.
The discovery has been sent to Mr. Hoskins, and he had requested a copy of the search warrant that we had omitted from the original. That we have sent that. As far as I know, that's everything that we are permitted to send. He and I can get together on making arrangements to view the contraband material we're not able to copy. So
Mr. Hoskins, where are you in the continuum of time? In this case, where are you as far as how much more time you're going to need?
Your Honor, I don't need a whole lot more time. I do need to schedule with Mr. Leverage a time to come view that material that they cannot provide.
Okay, well, let's
copies
do
of.
another pretrial in this case on October 13th. Okay, and I want y'all to schedule a negotiation day between the two of you. Evidently, there's not much of a probability of a plea in this case. Would you say that's true, Mr. Hoskins?
I would say that's accurate, Your Honor.
Okay, so come back here on October 13th. And if you don't have any discovery problems, then we can set a trial date. We can set a trial date. Okay. on that date.
Your Honor, I'm scheduled for a jury trial in Bell Circuit Court on the 13th of October.
Hold it down there. Y'all key in the mic, okay? Excuse me. You can appear by Zoom if you like. I'm sure Bell County will let you step out for a second or two, and we can do something like that, okay? That way we'll keep it going. Okay? Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank y'all very much.
October the 13th at 9 a.m., Judge.
At 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Or if y'all have a time certain in that case, in other words, if there's a better break time for you, Mr. Hoskins, that you can work out with the judge there, we'll allow y'all to do that. And the Commonwealth can appear on that date by Zoom too, so you won't have to come all the way over here. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank
Thank you,
y'all very
Judge.
much.
Mr. Hoskins, if you would just, Judge, can he and I coordinate about a time if that, based on his trial availability?
That's right.
Thank you, Judge.
For coordinated time, we'll do it. And that we don't have anybody else at Russell County, is that correct? Okay, then Russell County, you're excused. Let's go here to Tony Albertson. Commonwealth versus Tony Albertson. 21 CR 0004. Are you Tony Albertson?
Yes.
You born in 1984?
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 9471. Here for pretrial conference, what do you have?
Judge, there's been an order for him to be.
Hey, you need to move over to the left and you need to get behind it. Thank you.
There's been an order for an evaluation on this case. I spoke to KCPC about 10 days ago. And they said he's currently on the waiting list. They didn't really have a timeline, but I'm just gonna check in with them periodically, make sure they don't forget him.
What about these where they come down and do them virtually or whatever?
Well, that's where he had an appointment like that, he wouldn't attend, so we made him incarcerated. And then he had a blood clot or something in his leg. I think he got that taken care of. Back to the So he even needs to get this taken care of, or I'm gonna ask him to be put back to jail. It's been lingering a long time.
Well, Judge, I understand, but I don't know that anybody but the court can force KCPC to do one thing or another, and even then, it's a waiting list situation.
No, I'm not fussing on KCPC, I'm saying he had an appointment earlier, he missed it, he got incarcerated and stuff like that. And he was released because he had to go to the hospital and have surgery.
Well, I
And
think.
he's out of jail, good hell, if he misses again, my point is, I'm gonna.
Well, I want to, what do we have to do to schedule a virtual? There's not a waiting list for them.
Well, they got, right now, KCPC does not have him on virtual. They've got, because he wasn't able to do I guess what I call a contract evaluation, off-site. They've got him for an in-house. They've got him on the list for in-house evaluation.
We'll just wait till they do it, that's fine, I just don't want.
Well, no, I'm wanting to get him back on the virtual.
Jackie, you have to be incarcerated in order to do the work.
If he wants to go back to jail, we can get him.
What's the underlying charge here?
I don't know, it's been so long.
Marijuana cultivation.
Okay, if there's been no complaints about its activity or way he acts or anything. What kind of offer did you make him on this thing?
He always, I've had him on multiple marijuana cultivation before and he's been found incompetent. but he's a good horticulturist, being incompetent, so.
What kind of offer did you make him this time?
I had made one because they raised the competency issue.
If you were gonna make one, what kind of offer would you make?
It'd be the verdict or probate.
Judge, if he's not confident, he's not confident to consider a plea. So until that issue is decided, we can't move forward either with plea negotiation or trial.
Yeah, I'm gonna set him to come back here on, I just don't like the way this thing's going. I mean, he's like walking around free on this thing, and he didn't make his last appearance. I'm just inclined to incarcerate him and get him done virtually. I don't know.
Well, Judge, the reason, he did miss a court date, okay, but Tony is by and large, his attendance is very good. He did miss one court date. He got mixed up, he missed it. That's why the bench warrant was issued. That's why he was in custody. And then he got released for a medical issue. You know, there's not been any issues, with his behavior that's been pointed out, and.
Mr. Stockton, will you contact KCPC and see when it might be anticipated he might get in?
I will.
And then what I will do is I'll sign an order, ask them to advance him over anyone else that we have here in Clinton County
Okay.
to go up there. And then you be back here on October 13th. And don't you get into anything. You be good between now and then. Okay, I'll see. Wait a second. We're not gonna hold time. Where are the people that didn't show up? That's you can call them. Tell them that they're not, who didn't show up. How many cases they got to present today? Mr. Stockton, how many cases do you have to present to the grand jury today?
4.
4. Well, I'm telling them to call the people that didn't show up to have them come up here immediately, because we just got we just got a 30-minute window or something here. Okay. Well, let's just, you have some you want heard, why don't you check real quick with your staff and see if there's something, call and tell them that didn't show up. Okay, Billy Amonette. Billy Amonette. Is Billy Amonette here? Mr. Stockton? Billy Amonette.
That's my motion to amend the judgment. We had a misprint in our office. We had the wrong charge listed. I don't know if we need to give him back and sign the papers, or if I can just do it.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the judgment correct is just the dismissal also dismissed the charge that he was finished.
I see.
When I look back.
Well, as long as the judgment's correct, we're all right.
And I prepared an amended dismissal that will do away to the change of.
Okay, I'll sign that then. I'll sign that.
Thank you.
It's not his prejudice. Johnny Baden.
This is an old case, Your Honor, where I'm just moving to have a bill destroyed according to the law.
Okay, I'll submit to it. David Brown. David Brown. What's he charged with?
Well, it's a receiving case. He was at the negotiation day and signed the paper. And I thought he'd be here. He's actually.
Well, let's pick him up. He didn't show up today, and then we can deal with any issues that they have there. Luther Connor. Luther Connor.
Your Honor, he may have gotten mixed up. He was here, he took care of his issues with probation and parole. I'm not gonna ask for an arrestment.
Okay, pass over.
Okay.
Just pass over him. Misty Duval. Mr. Stockton.
She's not been picked up, she's in NCI, so
Okay. Haley Harbor. Commonwealth versus Haley Harbor. 22 CR 0034. Are you Haley Harbor? Okay. What do you have, Mr. Stockton?
this is Mr. Cross's motion to dismiss, which I don't know if there's any authority in the Kentucky law to permit that in a motion to bill particulars. And I just asked for 30 days to respond to that.
What do you have to say?
Your Honor, I would hope Mr. Stockton and he and I have discussed the case. I know he's going to furnish me the bill of particulars. I'd like to get this case moving a little quicker, as all of this is pending. Ms. Harbor cannot seek custody of her remaining children until this is
You
resolved.
want to set a trial date then?
No, we've got to get the bill of particulars.
Well, I mean, that's the only way I know to get it moving faster.
Well-
So I mean.
Well, no, Your Honor, my point is, this was filed on the,
You know, my old partner Jernigan, the people say, they say, we want to get this going. He said, well, let's sit down in the electric chair and we can get it over with. So now I'll sign an order with the bill of particulars and you want to have it up on October 13th and we'll set a trial date that day, okay?
if Mr. Stockton doesn't dismiss, I think that would be appropriate.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Judge, can you remember one of them sick, one of them had gone to COVID, one of them moved to football without informing us, and one of them had a call not to be done today.
Looking at the court to do a special grand jury next week.
Well, if we could, we've drawn 6 out and can't find anybody available already.
We just set a day so we can tell everybody.
Let's draw some more here.
Oh, we'll try to get some people.
I'll draw some more here. 100, 471, 69, 50, and 136. And 49. Johnny Neal. Motion to forfeit.
Yeah, that's an old page, one for.
Okay. Patty Moore. Commonwealth versus Patty Moore. 21 CR 00133. Are you Patty Moore? Patty Poor.
Oh.
Patty Poor.
Yes.
Okay, this is 21 CR 00133. It's a probation revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, this is a case where Ms. Poor was placed on probation and her violations is she's on home incarceration according to her plea that she's not paying D-track. So I thought we might just place her in custody and serve the rest of it out.
Well, Judge, I would like to note, even if that were to happen, it would not be a revocation of a 5-year sentence. It would just be a finishing of the split sentence. And I don't know how far along she is on that.
How far behind is she?
Well, she owes $280. I would expect to disagree with Mr. Tripp because her plea was to do the home incarceration and part of that's paying the fee and she didn't do it. As of month of July, she owes, it's like $280 according to Mr. Woodhouse.
So you're saying her old sentence can be revoked because of
But I'm
that?
not asking that, I guess she can't make it, just need to go serve the rest of it out in jail.
Okay, well, I think we were agreeing that Mr. Stockton,
Well, he was just more precise than you were.
I don't know.
Since you want him to help your client, I'd say just cooch up to him here a little bit.
When can,
I can make them next month. I don't have them under this month. Cause I had to pay rent, $400 something in rent.
and Judge, I know this court has never utilized the program, but this county does have, this court does have a program which allows the county to pay for leg monitors. It's utilized widely in district court. The fiscal court has made the decision that it's cheaper for them to pay Mr. Bookout or some other service rather than house somebody at a, you know, in this case, it'd be house somebody at a neighboring jail.
I don't have any fix.
I'll sign an order. Listen, young lady, I'm gonna sign an order out of the fiscal court to pay for your situation on that. Now, you live at the foot of the cross between now and then. You understand what I mean? Don't you get into anything else, because if you do, I'm gonna revoke you. Okay, and you submit the order on this thing, okay? Thank you. Okay. Chad Scott. So it's not? Are you Chad Scott?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're here today in 21 CR 0068, is that correct? Were you born in 1983?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 9601.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, are you here to enter a plea today, Bruce?
Judge, he's got two cases on the docket, 21 CR 68, where he's represented by James Acton, who's an attorney out of the Somerset office. And
Yeah.
Mr. Acton has been in contact with Mr. Scott and me and has asked me to stand in. He was in court.
What's the other case?
The other case is 22 CR 43. That's a flagrant drug support case. And I think per our conversation at settlement conference day, we were just going to continue that out either, I guess, to October and just kind of see how the payment.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a job and have a wage assignment, so I'd like to pass it to about November, see how.
Okay.
Okay, what's the other case about?
It's a receiving stolen property on the bottom number, and I've got misdemeanor pleas on both of them because they ought to be in the whole law, you know, about 500,000. So I'm saying keep on the out, we're on misdemeanor and those are gonna be a straight.
Well, let's just do these. Let's do all this with the child support.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Motion has been tendered, says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct? Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Is this plea freely and voluntarily given? Are you the same person named in indictment number 21 CR 0068? Is your judgment prepared today in what? Have you discussed this matter with your attorney? Are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you? You believe you're fully informed about your case?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. Before I can accept the plea, I need to know that you understand these rights.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, sir. All right, okay. Don't leave, stop talking. Well, let me finish this. I'm right here. What? You have a right to speedy trial, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, right to be evidence, right to call witnesses in favor, right to close this matter to higher court if you lose. Right to require the Commonwealth to be on a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charges against you. Understand, by entering the plea today, you give up those rights. I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may file any range of sentence provided by the law. I do not have to accept the recommendation. I understand that this is going to be a misdemeanor plea, so it will not be necessary to have a pre-sentence investigation for it. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you'll have the right to withdraw your plea of guilt and proceed to trial. We all step over to the left here. Your left, your left. Okay.
Upon a plea of guilty to theft by unlawful taking or disposition less than $500, a Class A misdemeanor, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 12 months, probated for 2 years, supervised. The defendant shall pay in restitution the amount of about $452.61 jointly and severally with co-defendant Robbie Scott, Clinton indictment number 21 CR 00069. Restitution shall be paid to the Clinton Circuit Court Clerk at a monthly rate of $75 per month, beginning within 30 days of the entry of this plea and dispersed in accordance with restitution order entered with this plea and is subject to a 5% clerk's fee. The defendant shall have no contact with the victim, victim's family, or victim's property. The defendant shall receive credit for time served. The defendant shall pay court costs at the discretion of the court, shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week until gainful employment is obtained, and agrees to have any and all evidence destroyed in a manner that is consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth and the holding agency.
Is that what you agreed to? What's the court cost in this? Yeah, I'm gonna add, that was $100 a month, is what it said?
$75.
$75, I'm gonna add 30 to that for court cost. Okay. You know. and so- That's right, 105. Okay, is this what you agreed to? Okay, knowing your constitutional rights is that you agree to allow the court to fix your punishment. Is that your signature on the document? Okay, I'm going to enter a misdemeanor plea. Now, was this to be supervised?
Yes.
Okay, you'll need to meet with probation and parole, talk about supervision. Okay, the next case is Robbie Scott. Commonwealth versus Robbie Scott. Is this a similar situation?
Judge, this is a codependent to the previous case. I have been in contact with Don McCauley, who is his attorney. He's in agreement and.
You have no problem with this, with Scott standing in?
Yeah.
You don't have any problem with it? Okay. State your name for the record, please. This is 21 CR 0069. Were you born in 1980? Yes, sir. The last four digits, social security number 0087? Yes, sir. Okay, a motion been tendered says that you wish to enter guilty plea. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol? No. Is this plea freely and voluntarily given? Yes, sir. Are you the same person named in indictment number 21 CR 0069? Yes, sir. Is your judgment impaired today in any way? No. Have you discussed this matter with your attorney and are you satisfied with her advice? Yes. Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you? Or are you fully informed about the case? Yes. You have certain rights under the Kentucky United States Constitution. Before I can accept the plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. You have a right to speed trial by jury. No one can make you testify against yourself. You have a right to representation at jury trial. You have the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. You have a right to produce evidence, right to call witnesses in your favor, right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, right to require the Commonwealth prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of the charge against you. You understand that by entering guilty plea today, you give up all those rights. Yes. Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply your own sentence provided law. I don't have to accept it. This is misdemeanor plea, so I don't have to have a pre-sentence investigation. If I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation, decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have a right to withdraw your plea. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation? You move over to your left. Ms. Gordon Anderson.
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of guilty to theft by unlawful taking or disposition less than $500, a Class A misdemeanor, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 12 months, probated for 2 years, supervised. The defendant shall pay restitution in the amount of $452.61 jointly and severally with co-defendant Chad Scott, Clinton indictment number 21 CR 68. Restitution shall be paid to the Clinton Circuit Court Clerk at a monthly rate of $75 per month, beginning within 30 days of entry of this plea and dispersed in accordance with the restitution order entered with this plea. It is subject to a 5% clerk's fee. The defendant shall have no contact with the victim, victim's family, or victim's property. The defendant shall receive credit for time served, shall pay court costs at the discretion of the court, shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week until gainful employment is obtained, and the defendant agrees to have any and all evidence destroyed in a manner that is consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth and the holding agency.
Yeah, it was 70.
$75 per
75. Okay, I'm gonna, the court costs are $150. I'm gonna add $30 a month to that. So it's total $105. This is what you agreed to? Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sign the judgment, accept it. Knowing your constitutional rights, explain to us your desire to allow me to go ahead and enter this misdemeanor judgment. Is that right? Yes. Okay, is that your signature on the document? Yes. Okay, well, I'll enter judgment. You meet my probation parole. Now, that's everything that we have on the record here. Let's go off the record and then the Commonwealth out here and discuss some procedural matters. Let's go off the record, please. You want to bring him out here and see what kind of scheduling problem we got?